The 1948 Lotus Mark I was the vehicle that launched the history of one of the most important and innovative companies in the history of motorsport and lightweight engineering, Lotus Engineering. It began as a car hand-built by a young Colin Chapman, then an engineering student at the University of London. The Mark I wasn't designed for mass production, but rather an experiment to see how much could be achieved through ingenuity, lightweight construction, and maximum simplicity. Chapman, working out of the makeshift confines of his family's garage, gave life to a symbol of the philosophy that would later propel Lotus to the forefront. The Mark I was built on the basis of the wartime Austin 7, a popular small car that became readily available and inexpensive to maintain after World War II. Chapman retained the Austin's basic elements but significantly redesigned the structure, improving frame stiffness by adding triangular bracing and incorporating new chassis components. He also installed a simplified, modified suspension and improved weight distribution to make the vehicle more responsive to dynamic driving. This gave the Mark I, despite its modest foundations, surprisingly good handling characteristics. Mechanically, the Mark I stood out not so much for its power, but for its efficient use of available resources. Chapman modified the small Austin 7 engine, improving airflow, refining the fuel system, and employing primitive but effective methods to boost performance. Without a large budget or specialized equipment, he relied on simple yet thoughtful solutions designed to maximize performance per kilogram. The result was a lightweight, dynamic, and responsive machine, a fundamental strength that became the hallmark of future Lotuses. The car's body was created practically from scratch. Chapman and his partner Hazel Williams, who actively participated in the car's construction, used thin aluminum panels mounted on a lightweight tubular structure. The entire structure was formed by hand, creating a body with aerodynamic lines, yet not without a certain amateurish character. Minimal weight and functionality were priorities. The Mark I wasn't a car for admiration, but for racing. The resulting structure weighed approximately 350 kilograms, making it exceptionally agile and responsive to even minor chassis modifications. Chapman conceived of the Mark I as a racing car from the outset. Initial trials took place at local trials, a popular sport in Britain in the 1940s. These competitions involved tackling hills, muddy climbs, and steep, challenging terrain. Thanks to its lightweight construction, excellent traction, and precise handling, the Mark I proved surprisingly effective in these disciplines. Chapman not only competed in the competitions, but also continually refined the car, incorporating every bit of experience gained on the track into further modifications. The Mark I's performance quickly began to attract the attention of local clubs and motorsport enthusiasts. Success in trial competitions established Colin Chapman as a promising designer, with talent not only behind the wheel, but above all in the workshop. The Mark I wasn't a modern car, but its performance and handling were the result of engineering genius. The first sign that the future Lotus would be based on the philosophy of add lightness, subtract unnecessary elements. The car also demonstrated Chapman's profound understanding of the principles of weight transfer, traction, and structural rigidity. One of the key aspects of the Mark I's development was utilizing minimal resources to achieve maximum effect. Chapman used parts, repurposed components from other vehicles, and repeatedly tested prototypes of his own designs, which was not only a necessity, but also a great engineering lesson. Unlike many designers of the time, he sought not more power, but greater agility. The Mark I became a testing ground for him, allowing him to develop his own philosophy of racing car design, focused on simplicity and weight reduction. The car was continually modified, and its design evolved throughout its life. Chapman experimented with suspension geometry, different tires, air pressures, weight distribution, and gearbox ratios. He also tested various body configurations, seeking a compromise between aerodynamics and practicality in trial racing. All of this experience led to the Mark I becoming more than just an amateur design. It was a laboratory that nurtured the future Lotus brand and an engineering style that would revolutionize motorsport for decades to come. The success of the Mark I gave Chapman the impetus to build subsequent models, the Mark II and Mark III, which were more technically advanced and increasingly approached the standards of professional sports cars. With a growing network of contacts and the support of Hazel, who became the company's co-founder, Lotus Engineering was officially established in 1952. Meanwhile, the Mark I has remained in history as a symbol of the birth of a vision that changed the way we think about racing cars. Although only one example was built, its impact was immense and felt for decades to come. Today, the Lotus Mark I is a true legend, not for its performance or appearance, but for the fundamental importance it played in the brand's history. This car proved that brilliant ideas can be born in a humble garage, and that the future of motorsport can begin with a refined amateur vehicle. The Mark I is a tribute to the creativity, determination, and innovation of Colin Chapman, who believed that lightness and simplicity were the key to victory. Without this humble car, Lotus's later triumphs in Formula One and the successes that made the brand a racing icon would not have existed.